أو زد عليه ورتل القرآن ترتيلا.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, my brothers and sisters. Welcome back to another week of the Revive the Sunnah series. And this week we'll be covering the last episode on lesson 1 of the alphabet. So next episode, inshallah, we'll be moving to lesson 2 of the alphabet. But let's focus on where we are at now. This episode is basically on how to pronounce and perfect the letters as it says on the screen, and we'll be looking at the different letters. They have been jumbled up and how the pronunciation is not written there anymore, so we need to test. This is basically testing our recognition of the letters and how to pronounce them and how to differentiate between the letters that look similar. So we're going through the letters one by one. The first one we have here, I hope you'll be doing this with me, and I'll give you like 2 seconds before I say what the letter is. So this letter is ha. As we can see previously, that ha can be written in 2 different ways. It can be written like the one in purple, and it can be written like the one in brown. It can also be written differently depending on where it is in a word. If it's the first letter of the word, or it's the middle letter of the word, or it's at the end of the word. So we'll be looking at that in future lessons, inshallah ta'ala. Then so this is ha. The next letter, this is ta. Again, ta and va look very similar. Ta has no dots and va has a dot above. Let's keep that in mind. Let's move to the next letter. The next letter is, if you guessed ayn, then it's wrong. It's actually hamza. Hamza, as we looked at here, it's hamza. Ayn, you could find later. If I explain, you're gonna get it in the future one. So you'll find, come to ayn at the end of this episode. We'll look at the letter ayn. What is this letter? This is kaf. Kaf looks different when it's in the middle of a word or it's at the end of the word. But this is how it looks. This is how it looks at the end of the word. But in the beginning of a word, it's also different. It is not written like this. So we'll watch out for that in future episodes, inshallah ta'ala. This is kaf. The next letter. If you've guessed za, then you guessed wrong. It's dhal. Dhal. Again, the difference between dhal and dal is that dhal has a dot above and dal has no dots and dhal has a dot above, pardon me. And the difference between za and dhal is that za is dhal looks like a greater than sign, and za looks like a stretch comma, a longer comma. I'll look at that later as well. What's this letter? This letter is ha. The difference between ha, kha, and jim is that jim has a dot below, ha has no dots as you can see, and kha has a dot above. This one is ha. What's this letter? It is wow. Again, fa, wow, and qaf look some sort similar, but wow has no dots as you can see. Fa has 1 dot above and qaf has 2 dots above. This one is wow. The next letter, it's ghoin. From here we can look at the similarity between ghoin and ayn. Ayn has no dots above, but ghoin has 1 dot above. So this is the difference between the hamza and ayn and ghoin. You see, hamza is stretched. Hamza is not stretched. Ayn and ghoin are stretched. They have a stretch at the bottom, but hamza is like a cut version, if you can look at the difference. The next letter? No, it's not lam. It's alif. 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 Lam in the middle of the sentence could look like this, but the letters are separated, they're singled out. This is alif. The last letter we'll be doing for today, noon. Noon. Difference between noon, ba, ta, and tha is that noon has 1 dot above, ba has 1 dot below, ta has 2 dots above, and tha has 3 dots above. So you can look through the other letters. You can look through the other letters and try all of them out, and inshallah we'll see how much we do next week, inshallah ta'ala. In the next episode we'll go through all these letters, but as just to see how many answers you guys have correct. So this is basically your homework. When you get home, or when you after this video, try all of these ones. You can look at into these letters, and once you pronounce the letter, if you want to see if it's correct or not, just press on the play button, and inshallah it will play, and you'll hear how the sound is pronounced, and you see if you got it right or wrong. Jazaakumu'Allahu Khayr. See you next week. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.